Hello, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee. This edition is about retirement. So, how many of you have been contemplating retirement? How many of you are considering it or even planning for it right now? There are many different reasons to retire. You could retire because you've met um, your goal, right? You decided, okay, this is how many years I'm going to work and I'm done. Or you might be part of the sandwich generation where you might be taking care of children at home, but now you have to take care of your parents. Or after COVID, right? After COVID, there were many people who were out of work through no fault of their own. And they may have decided to stay home or maybe not even be able to find a job after COVID, right? So there's different reasons for retiring or changing your job. Let's put that one in there too. Or now staying at home, right? And during COVID, we also found out that we could do a lot of things from home, right? I was a parole agent, right? I recently retired and it's not even been a month yet. And I was one of the parole agents who I spent my time in the office doing my work, but we do things out in the field. So there were a lot of times that I wanted to be out in the field all the time. And for a lack of a better phrase, and I'll give you that phrase in a minute, they told us, "Oh no, you need to come to the office," right? And what's the phrase that I'm talking about? Because they couldn't watch us, right? They didn't know what we were doing. There was even like a rumor going around that they were, tracking our phones or tracking our laptops. And maybe they were. I'm not one of those that needed to worry about them tracking me because when I was at work, I was at work, right? I didn't say I was going to work and then stay home or whatever. And then I couldn't because I worked 2 hours away from where I lived. So I couldn't just work from home, right? So then COVID hit and all of a sudden we discovered we can do all kinds of stuff without being in the office, right? So that changed that environment. So, but if you've been contemplating retirement, if you've recently retired, if you're considering retiring, if you've changed job situations, or now you're staying home to work from home, you're probably like me and probably envision this time of your life to be endless relaxation and adventure, right? And while that's part of it, the reality can be a bit more complicated, right? So, I'm personally finding that there's unexpected feelings coming up, overwhelm, sense of loss, and maybe even questioning if I'm good enough without my career. Now, I know I'm good enough without my career, but those are questions that come up. The biggest questions that I'm thinking of or that I've been contemplating or is that feeling of overwhelm. Like I personally, I've worked really, really hard and I deserve everything I have in my retirement. And I'm kind of feeling this little imposter syndrome, right? Like, do I really deserve all this? And when I went and out processed, I got my little retirement card, right? And I was like, wow, like right, sense of freedom, right? And then I was kind of numb for a minute, a few days, didn't know how to exactly place it. And one, because it probably wasn't reality yet. And at that time, I knew I was retiring, but I had no idea what the final numbers were as far as my retirement benefits, right? My monthly income or annual income. So everything was kind of like up in the air. So then it was like, oh, and I was kind of joking around. You're like, oh no, every day is Saturday, right? And it's true. Every day is Saturday. Other than me having my own personal commitments, if I'm going to do videos for you or participate with the Lighthouse Tapestry or do the Lighthouse Lounge and Power Hour, right, with Ruby and Morgan that we would like everybody to become a member for, right? We have a video tomorrow. live tomorrow, and then we start the membership on the 1st of December. So besides those commitments and maybe some medical appointments here and there, because I'm still, a disabled veteran, I really don't have any commitments. So what I wanted to talk about today was acknowledging the feelings and starting the process of reclaiming your joy and my joy and our purpose, right? Because maybe you're not feeling blissfully happy every single day, and you don't even need to be retired to feel that, right? Or to feel that way. Maybe you're just at home because that's what you do and no one's judging you. There's so many things people can do from home. I mean, how many videos do we watch of everybody, right? Just remember, retirement is a transition, and transitions can be tough. And so I kind of wanted to go over the expectations versus reality of retirement. And I didn't want to edit this video. I just wanted to do it live. So I took some pictures, or printed out some pictures. So what is the expectation of retirement, right? Is that you're going to be sipping Mai Tais, right? You're going to be on this beach, right? By yourself, bliss, happiness, right? And what's the reality of that? You can have it all planned out, but what's the reality? That there's going to be other people on the beach, which is fine, right? They look pretty far away from here if this is where we are. But then it could be like this, where it's everywhere. Like if you go to a beach in Italy, or I've been to a beach in Italy many, many moons ago, and it was kind of crowded, right? And that's because in those areas, they may only get sun at certain times of the year, right? I'm from Southern California. We have sun all the time, though it's been raining for the last couple of days and it's supposed to rain for the next couple more, which I'm loving, right? Feels like I'm in Washington, right? So what's another expectation? That you're going to go on vacations, right? And you're going to have the time of your life, right? Gay Paris, right? You're going to go to Paris. You're going to go see the Eiffel Tower. Well, what's the reality of that? You got to travel there, right? Unless you're in a hotel right next to the Eiffel Tower, you're going to either have to take a taxi, you're going to have to take some kind of public transportation and find a way to get there somehow, right? And that's stressful. Another thing about vacations is you have to have more than one plan, right? Because it's not going to go exactly the way you planned it. It's just not. I'm sorry to tell you, if I'm disappointing you, it is just not. Doesn't mean it's going to be a total bomb. I mean, it might, but you're just going to have alternatives, right? Let's say you wanted to go to the Eiffel Tower today, right? But maybe you can't get there for some reason, or it's raining and you don't want to go there because it does rain a lot in Europe, right? Or something comes up, then make a plan to go tomorrow, right? So there's a way to get through all this anxiety of these expectations of what retirement is, or what this new life journey that you're on, right? What's another expectation? That you have all the time in the world, right? Time is in your hands, right? You are just like her down here. She's like, wow, freedom. And it is free. You are free, right? You still have responsibilities, right? I mean, unless, and God bless you if you've retired with millions of dollars and you don't have to worry about a damn thing. I am so happy for you. And I'm honestly, gratefully, blissfully happy for you. But the rest of us, we still have to mind our bills and our responsibilities and different things, right? Oh, something in my eye. So then another thing is, you're like, oh my God, I have all this freedom. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do all kinds of hobbies, right? Well, one of my hobbies I'm doing, as I started it a little while ago, is making bread, right? Sourdough. There's that sourdough starter, right? How beautiful. So I have a plan, whatever morning, to get up and take that sourdough starter out of the refrigerator, because I put mine in the refrigerator and then I mix it for that batch that I'm going to make that day. Then I do my stretch and folds, right? And I'm running around doing whatever. But then I get busy and I forget and I overproof it, right? So what does that mean? So when you're making bread, you're doing these lovely stretch and folds, right? You've seen the videos. I know most of you have seen the videos. And so you have to keep an eye on it. So if you have other things planned, you have to plan around it. So there's plenty of people that have done it where they only do one stretch and fold, or they don't even bother doing stretch and folds, right? They just mix the loaf, and they just keep mixing it and kneading it. If you use a bread mixer, a dough mixer, then you don't have to do all those stretch and folds, right? There's so many different things, and your environment is what dictates to you what is how your bread is going to turn out. But you still have to plan, and something still goes wrong. So I'm wanting to do this video, and I'm going to do a couple more because I wanted to also talk about imposter syndrome. So we are worthy, right? And when someone else knows what I've done in my lifetime, let's just say my careers, they're like, oh my God, Denise, you so deserve to relax because of everything you've done. But have many of you talked to a veteran? Because, there might be some that feel differently, but a lot of us just feel like, you know what, it was just our job. We chose to do whatever, right? It wasn't a plan. It was a plan from when I was a junior in high school, because I saw that woman in her class A's, which at the time I didn't even know what it was, but she was in her uniform with all these medals, different things on her chest, and she was standing tall. And I was like, I want to be just like that. So, and I did a lot of things, right? I was in the military for 14 and a half years. Yes, that's a long time. And why did I not retire then? Well, because as many of you know, and as many of you might be in the situation that we're talking about today, you might have had to change your job or moved away from your job for one reason or another, or decided you had to stay home because of some other commitment that you needed to do. And it wasn't something that you had anticipated on doing. And that's what it was for me in the military. My dad had recently passed away suddenly, and my life had totally changed. So it was time for me to leave. It was time for me to practice what I preached, which was the Army had to be your number one priority. That's what I preached to my soldiers, so I had to follow that. So now that I'm retired, I am feeling the sense of freedom. I am, yes, hello, that's Spark. And she is mad because she hasn't gotten her morning breakfast yet. And you're not going in the garage? Nope, because it's raining. That's where the other cats are. So I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, right? And today I'm feeling great. This weekend I'm feeling great. I talked to my sister. I'm going to see my sister tomorrow. I'm making her some bread, and I'm going to go visit her. And she retired a couple of years ago. So I'm going to talk to her about how she's feeling. So let's get some cards from Gaia about grounding, because that's what we need to do. We need to ground ourselves, right? Okay. We have Tree of Life. Fertility, creativity, destiny, magical blessings. So this is just the new beginning, right? Because this retirement, this change of jobs, this having to go from one place to another, whatever the reason it is that you're feeling this uncertainty, was for a reason. And it's a transition, but it's part of that journey, right? And this Tree of Life it has a star, it has the yin and the yang, it has the infinity sign. Kind of looks like handcuffs, but it has the infinity sign, so I guess you can kind of be handcuffed a little bit, right? Tied down. It has a heart, and it has I think it's the key of life, which is above the heart. So this is a new journey, right? It's a transition. And so if you're not feeling blissfully happy every single day, it's okay, because you don't feel blissfully happy every single day when you're in your career, right? God knows I did it. And I wanted to mention, if you're coming from a job or a place or whatever it was that had you choose this new journey of yours, if it was toxic, then that's a whole different ball of wax, right? That's a whole bunch of different feelings that you're going to have to process. And I think that's a lot of the things that I'm feeling right now, is because I knew it was toxic where I was working, and and I loved my job, right? But it was the people that made it toxic. And it was I'm going to say the environment, but it wasn't going to be, I'm not talking about the environment of the location. I'm talking about the environment of the type of work and the way that they were wanting to do that type of work. It just wasn't something that I was feeling anymore. And I've never been married, and I don't have children. So my life, my marriage was my job, my career. My children were my career, right? I mean, I have cats, right? I used to have dogs. I'm going to get a dog soon, I hope, next year or two. But that was my life. And so not having that, it took some time. And although I just recently retired within the last few weeks, I haven't been at work for a period of time because I was dealing with some medical issues. So I will tell you that in the process of not working, it was kind of like a vacation at first, right? I wasn't traveling. I was traveling, but I wasn't going a lot of places and doing a lot of things. But it was a freedom. But then when I got that final, turned in all my equipment, got my ID card, got the letter from CalPERS to say, you are retired and you'll receive your first check on such and such a date, blah, 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 blah. Here's the amount. That's when it hit me, right? So I hope that you are not feeling overwhelmed, right? Know that you're not the only one in that position. I know that Two of Swords, right? Trust your intuition. Be open to what's around you, right? Behind her is that body of water and that land, right? So she has feelings, and she needs to feel those feelings, and she needs to uncross her heart, and she needs to follow those new truths, right? And the tree of life, this is just a new beginning. So how are we going to do this beginning? So I'm going to do some more videos about this. We're going to get into the imposter syndrome. We're going to get into some of the feelings that we're feeling, how to process through that, taking time for yourself. 10 minutes, right? So that's what I want you to do for till the next one, is take at least, I'm going to say 5 to 10 minutes each day just to sit by yourself, right? Drink your coffee, right? And then I love this cup. It says, sisters are like stars. They make things brighter. So talk to your sisters, right? And it doesn't have to be your biological sisters. And the reason I have this cup, I bought this cup for my sisters, and there's 5 of them, right? And I gave each one of them. So we all have this cup. And so talk to your community, talk to friends, talk to your family, let them know how you feel. And if you're not feeling it, let them know, right? It's okay to not feel happy every single day. And remember, if you're not feeling that happiness every single day, remember that this retirement, this new journey of yours, this new job, this new location that you're in, this new situation that you're in, for better or worse, is a transition, but it's also a journey. Okay? So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a good one. And don't forget about our membership. Please join. Don't forget about our live tomorrow night. Don't forget about Wednesday night live on the Lighthouse Tapestry. And there's also going to be a full moon ritual on Thursday. So until then, have a good day.